rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand for the time.
The times they are a-changing. That is the song that I woke up to a few mornings back. The song that bubbled up in my head, as I say, seemingly out of nowhere, and we know where that nowhere is. Well, hi. Welcome to Men's Morning Lights. I'm Trapper Jack. What that song meant to me as I heard it was, well, it took me right to a time of protest, of violence, of war, and I honestly thought the chastisement. You know, all the seers and visionaries talking about the upcoming chastisement. Are we there? I'm actually praying, is there something you want to tell me? Is it imminent? Is it going to, what? And then the song morphed into a different tune. This is from a movie. It's called Heaven Can Wait. Yeah. Put the two together. It was something imminent? No. Heaven can wait. What was imminent isn't. It's like, is God hitting the pause button? Is he tapping the brakes? What is going on? What is the message and all that? In the movie, Warren Beatty, he dies prematurely. An angel makes a mistake, and heaven has to kind of rearrange things, put him in a different body, and heaven waits for him. And are we in a waiting mode right now? I have things slowed up a bit. A few weeks back, the movie The Sting was what the topic was based on the music. And what's The Sting about? Nothing is as it seems. In the world, anywhere, nothing is as it seems. You had con men conning con men. It wasn't even good guys versus bad guys, because out there in the world, there are no good guys. They're all bad guys. Your good guy just is a less bad guy maybe than the other bad guy, but that's the world right now. In fact, I had just awakened from a dream in which there was a good guy. And I saw a movie star. I won't tell you which one it is, because you may have special thoughts about this particular guy, but I saw this guy, always a good guy, always the hero, but in the dream, not so much. Again, telling me there aren't the only good guy out there is Jesus. Bottom line, the only good guy is Jesus. So that's when things took a little turn in this experience I had. I'm now awake, but I am beginning to hear an argument. And it ties back to, remember when COVID was going on, how many articles did you read? How many YouTube videos did you see about the upcoming global reset, the great global reset, the new world order? A handful of people running the whole show of the whole world. And this COVID was kind of an early sense of that. A handful of people telling everybody what to do, and everyone saying, all right. And so the whole world shuts down. The economy shut down. Church shuts down. Schools, everything shuts down. You remember, right? You remember everything just stopped because of a handful of, what he said, I'm a trained professional. A handful of people said that's what we should do, and we did. And since then, we found out there might have been a couple of lies, just a couple, okay? Can you imagine the joy these souls had about running the whole world? Just a handful. I say this, they do that. Wow. But here in this little moment I had arguing, I heard these same guys arguing with each other, yelling at each other, taking each other's heads off, F-bombing each other. Why? What they were yelling about, what they were upset about is how everything should be in place. Everything was in place. We had everything in place. We had the right people in place. Why isn't it the way we wanted it to be? Why isn't this global reset happening right now? What happened? And that's when the answer came. I get this, the church. The church is standing in the way. I get a sense of this fortress, this power, God. Despite all the scandals, the weaknesses, and all that, the things we all know, at the core of it all is God. And nothing happens. Nothing is allowed unless God says so. I went to the Indiana Jones movie, you know, the one where the Nazis get the Ark of the Covenant and they're opening it up, and we've got the power of God on our side now, and they open it up, and how beautiful. And what happens? They get their face melted off. That's what they get. And that's what they're dealing with, and they don't understand that. These guys don't get that. They don't get the God in all of this. The gates of hell will not prevail. They don't get this. And then I hear these words. These comforting words, I have reclaimed my seminaries. Over and over again, I have reclaimed my seminaries. I have reclaimed my seminaries. I have reclaimed my seminaries. We feel it. We feel it in our parish. The last 3 priests have all been freshly minted new priests, all in their late 20s, early 30s. I mean, young, vibrant, on fire, good priests coming into the fold here. And it reminds me of the Insignu Jesu book, which this Benedictine monk, he's having Jesus talk to him. And what does he talk about? Young priests, they're mine. I'm guiding them. Now, in the midst of all of this information, I'm still getting this. That heaven is waiting. Pause button is underway. And God is joyful at how much mercy he has and is showering on us. This mercy he is giving us that not yet. I'm giving you more time to get it together, people. I'm giving you more time so I can collect more of you. That's the bottom line of this. I'm collecting souls here. I'm collecting souls. And Satan is not going to stop me from collecting. Some have been slipping away. I'm going to go bring them back. Okay, so I wake up, I'm getting up, and I start looking at the readings this week, and all of a sudden there's all these readings day after day about wisdom and foolishness. Wisdom and foolishness. I think it was last Sunday where we talked about how the wisdom of this world is foolishness in God's eyes. And of course, there was a song to go along with that. Wise men say, only fools rush in. But I can't help falling in love with you. What's that song mean? Gender specific. Who's singing to whom? Male singing to us. God, Jesus singing to us. I can't help falling in love with you. I can't help but show you mercy. I can't help but give you more time. The song says, take my hand, take my whole life. I gave you my whole life on a cross. Take my whole life. I'm the only one you can trust. Turn towards me and away from this foolishness of the world. A foolishness where, as simple as being in a delivery room. Remember when you were in a delivery room? Remember? You're not mom and dad. You're parent one and parent two. That's where the world is right now. That's the foolishness of the world. And I can't help falling in love with you and trying to get you out of that side of the world. So he's collecting us now. He's hitting the pause button. Those who have slipped through, he's coming back. I'll just a quick plug for the other podcast I do, Touched by Heaven. You want to hear people coming back to the church? You want to hear people coming back to God week after week? Do you want to hear what God is actually doing in the world today by great signs and wonders and communication? Touchedbyheaven.net, Touched by Heaven podcast. It dazzles me every week, these great stories of people that give me hope, fortify my faith. That's what he's doing, and he wants more time to do it. So then this other song, it's actually been playing for a few weeks. I love this.
People say I'm crazy, doing what I'm doing.
People say I'm crazy doing what I'm doing. What's this song about? It's about a guy who's unplugged from that world that supposedly has all those wise people, and he's unplugged. He says, I've gotten off the merry-go-round. I've gotten away from people who are talking about problems. I'm talking about solutions. And it's the crazy people. It's the foolish people. It's the foolish people who, as the Bible says, the foolish people are the ones who are fools for Christ. And that's where we are right now. Are we wise in this worldly state, or are we fools for Christ? What side are we choosing to be on? Heaven can wait. Heaven is waiting. Heaven, as our title said, is giving you more time, not just for your further part of your own conversion, but to help convert others. God's going to do it through you, through me, through signs and wonders. He's got the whole package. It's all planned out. He's got the DVR. Remember, he knows how this turns out. He knows who's coming, and he's excited about it. He's excited to give us this extra mercy, this extra time. And the bottom line message to me is we have more time and to use it wisely. God bless you. See you next week on Men's Morning Light.